Whatever happens, happens. Spike Spiegel. One of the most popular quotes in any anime, and let me tell you, this anime is one that I recommend to everyone, whether you are a veteran or a new watcher. Hello, my name is Bugsy, and let me tell you how Cowboy Bebop changed my life. Created by Shinichirō Watanabe, who also created Samurai Champloo, which is arguably my favorite anime ever. This is one of the retro animes that have been highly acclaimed as one of the best. Also very important to mention Keiko Nobumoto, who was a screenwriter for Cowboy Bebop. May she rest in peace, and thank you so much for an amazing anime. Another shout out is to Yoko Kanno, who created one of the best original soundtracks for an anime I have heard in a long time. I was interested in watching Cowboy Bebop once I discovered that Samurai Champloo had shared the same creator. I figured, hey, if this guy created my favorite anime of all time, maybe Cowboy Bebop will also be ranked highly in my tier list. Let me tell you, I was completely blown away by this anime. Spike Spiegel, he is your typical badass, a bounty hunting cowboy with incredible fighting skills, charisma, and a mysterious aura which will gravitate towards any viewer. While the first couple of episodes are honestly a bit random for a first-time viewer, it all eventually leads into a great story with hidden life lessons. All the characters are so well written and unique in their own sense. Jet Black, who is the opposite of Spike, however they get along quite well even with some head bumping. Faye Valentine, who I liked immediately based on her appearance and also started to like her more as a character as the story developed. And of course, Ein and Ed, who surprisingly have very interesting and sad endings. Now you may be wondering, Bugsy, what made this anime so special to you? Why are you making this video? Well, it's the life lesson of staying out of the past. One of the overarching lessons in Cowboy Bebop is to not live in the past. Spike, Jet, Faye, and Ed all are suffering from trying to fix the past. Spike, who seems to have everything taken care of, lack of concern, and even solving a majority of his problems, cannot solve the biggest one, his past, with the Red Dragon and his lover, Juliet. This hit me hard because I have a habit of trying to live in the past and wishing I could fix things or do things differently, which takes away from me focusing on the present and most importantly, the future. The anime became very sad to me once the climax was reached and I assumed / foreshadowed that Spike Spiegel was not going to survive this story. This was shown when Ed and Ein left the crew. Jet had finally confronted and accepted his past. And of course, Faye regained her memories of who she previously was. While everyone else was able to accept the past and move forward, Spike was not. He finally got to be with Juliet after so many years, planning on running away, but that was not his destiny. And in Cowboy Bebop, it is very, very telling that Spike Spiegel wings it at life. One of the most popular quotes, which I did read in the beginning of this video, is whatever happens, happens. And this was when he was in a space shuttle crashing down to Earth, going into the gravitational pull, and he literally could have burned himself alive, but he had no concerns. He simply lit his cigarette and said whatever happens, happens. And whenever he was going after a bounty, even if he was inconvenienced, even if the plan did not go according to what him or Jet had laid out, Spike always found a way. Watching him lose his friend at the store, who knew he would eventually come back, seeing Juliet get shot and die in his arms was absolutely heartbreaking. Why was it so heartbreaking? Because it was when Spike knew he had nothing else to live for anymore. Now for Jet, Faye, or even himself. One thing about Cowboy Bebop, and again, I know I'm talking about Spike Spiegel quite heavy, and it makes sense because he is our main protagonist in this anime. I believe that the missions, while the first 4 to 6 episodes were very random, it all eventually did come together. And seeing how Spike was the one to just make things happen, Jet Black being so calculated, Jet Black really not even wanting to bring up the past. And many people, when Faye came around, I would assume didn't like her just because of how obnoxious she was, how self-centered she was. But in reality, she simply just wanted to know who she was. And that really does hit me a little bit because many people put on this mask because they don't want the people around them to see who they really are. When Ed came around, and Ed is just this goofy kid, very smart, very energetic, he eventually leaves to spend time with his father. And one of the most important things that Ed did in the anime was play chess with a master bridge maker who ended up disappearing. And I think it was so sad for Ed and Ayn to leave together because they were some of the purest hearts and souls in the show. Anyways, let's get back to Spike Spiegel. He knew that he had to face Vicious and knew it was going to end with his death, which honestly sounds pretty normal, right? No. It hurt significantly more because of the blue soundtrack playing, which is one of my favorites in the entire anime, and how it foreshadows and sets the tone for the demise of Spike Spiegel. One of the most important scenes in all of Cowboy Bebop is when Faye confronts Spike regarding him leaving to go end it all with the Red Dragon. She threatens him, tells him not to go, shoots her gun at the ceiling to show how serious she was. When she told him to forget the past because it doesn't matter, which is what he said to her early on in the anime, she breaks down about how it didn't matter in the end to go back to the past, which is what she wanted Spike to see because he did not have to throw his life away. Spike explains why his eyes are two different colors, one symbolizing the past and the other symbolizing the present. And Spike says the line,
just throw your life away like it was nothing?
I'm not going there to die. I'm going to find out if I'm really alive.
Spike, you didn't have to do it. And even reading that line, it makes me feel a little bit emotional because I feel like this is something that a lot of people go through. It's something that I went through, not to the fact that I go on a suicide mission and fight off a crime syndicate. But when he says, I'm not going there to die, I'm going to find out if I'm really alive. A lot of people, especially men, they would do things that one could perceive as very dangerous, but the reason why they do it is because they want to feel alive. So many people feel dead inside, and doing something that's adrenaline rushing, doing something that is just exhilarating and dangerous shows whether or not you really are alive or you're really dead. I cannot tell you how many times I rewatched and edited to that scene alone. An absolutely powerful scene which shows the end of the story to the coolest bounty hunter. The last two parts that hurt is when Spike is slowly dying and he sees Julia one last time and she says, "It is all a dream." He responds, "Yeah, just a dream." Then of course the infamous bang at the end when he walks down the stairs and we see the birds flying around him and everything turns to black and white, with the text ending being, "You're going to carry that weight." That is life. Life is about carrying the weight of the past relationships, past friendships, past experience, past everything. We are unable to go back and change the past and the actions that we did. All we can do is move forward and do our best in the present, and most importantly, in the future. A great example of this, which is not spoken about at all in the first episode, was the woman escaping the planet with her husband, with the Road to the West soundtrack playing in the background. She says, "I'll never see Mars." That was the only dream she had, the only thing she wanted, but never got to reach due to the past actions that she had made. And most importantly, she understood that her dream was over. Cowboy Bebop showed me that living in the past will only result in never-ending pain and regret. Life is too short to live in the past and neglect the present. Life is too short for the coulda, woulda, shoulda-haves. It doesn't matter. It makes you who you are today. I am sure that myself and many other people would love to go back to the past and change something which could have been pivotal in their life right now. But there's a reason why it did not happen, which is what we will call destiny. Always remember, whatever happens, happens. And you are going to carry that weight. See you, Space Cowboy.